What if tarot only predicted bad things? Brittany is a tarot reader who lives alone. Every afternoon, she passes by the alley with the antique shop. In a dark corner of the shop, an old tarot deck caught her eye. That night, she opened the deck and tried to draw a few cards for fun. But the card she drew was a bad omen. Brittany shook her head and put the card back in the deck. The back of the card was stained a deep red like blood. That afternoon, she drew a card for a regular customer. The chariot appeared. After the fortune-telling session, the customer left the shop and drove away. But soon after, the car lost control and crashed into a... The next afternoon, Brittany read her best friend's cards again. This time, the card was death. That night, she tossed and turned. The familiar room suddenly became heavy and unusually quiet. The cards on the table turned over automatically, making a rustling sound as if someone was holding them. The phone on the table lit up. A text message that her best friend Brittany had been in an accident. She held her head, shivering. The cold spread through her body, her arms turning purple, dark veins bulging under her skin. In desperation, Brittany decided to burn the deck. But as soon as she touched it, her fingertips went numb, as if the life had been drained from them. She opened the door, rushed to the fireplace, and threw the deck into the fire. The drawings on the card still did not burn completely. The fire suddenly went out. From the darkness, blurry figures began to appear. Creatures emerged from the cards. They were exactly like the drawings in the tarot cards. Brittany screamed, but her voice was drowned out by the strange sound. Just as Brittany was about to give up, two white lights suddenly appeared. From the light, two figures from the tarot deck emerged. Hope flashed in her eyes, but as the figures approached, their faces suddenly changed. Temperance pulled out the Three of Swords. Brittany was stunned. Immediately, she felt a terrible pain. She looked down. 3 real swords had pierced her heart. She collapsed to the floor. Only a horrible laugh could be heard. The next morning, on the shelf of the antique shop, the tarot deck lay there as if nothing had happened. The doorbell rang again. A strange hand reached up and touched the box of cards.
I was digitizing old radio tapes as usual, until one reel recorded the day of my death.
You are in the wrong timeline.
I'm Arlo. After graduation, I started an internship in a place many called the Graveyard of Radio Waves, a sealed room with no back exit, smelling heavily of old books and burnt magnetic tape. My job was simply to digitize piles of cassette tapes that no one bothered to remember. I thought it would just be a few sleepy afternoons with old radio sounds, until I found a series of reels labeled Never Aired. The first tape was a mundane conversation, nothing noteworthy. By the second tape, I found it disturbingly familiar. The story was just like my own morning. Tapes 3 and 4 recounted my exact day. Every minute detail, 6 reels, each recording a day. And I was the main character. I checked, thinking it was a prank. But the 6th tape chillingly mentioned a call I had just received this afternoon. Impossible. The call was only a few hours ago, yet the tape had recorded it beforehand. Then a 7th reel fell. Right in front of me, I loaded the 7th tape, my hands trembling, a cold dread washing over me. The announcer's voice prophesied my accident tomorrow. I rewound it, only to hear a piercing, distorted laugh. The screen flashed a pale white figure, a red nose, a face cracked like a mask. I turned, but no one was there. Yet I felt a presence. Something had just been standing there. I ripped the plug out, but the tape kept playing. The horror unfolded before my very eyes.
If you hear this, then it's already too late for you.
A hoarse voice suddenly rasped. All the lights died, plunging me into suffocating darkness. But the tape's chilling sound continued to echo. A single red spot hovered in the middle of the room. It was an eye.
Arlo.
The haunting call echoed from all 4 directions, along with terrifying, guttural laughter. I spun around and saw him. A white-faced clown, empty black eyes, a terrifyingly wide, endless smile. He stood utterly still, that grin revealing gleaming white teeth. He took a step forward, each movement deliberate, straight towards me. I woke up on the floor, alone, the tape's sound gone, but the machine was still running. The screen displayed the words, 7th recording completed. Turning, the 7th reel lay on the table with a new, terrifying label, aired the day after Arlo's death. The tape automatically began to play. No one touched it. I thought my 4th floor apartment was a peaceful place. But at 3:33 a.m., I was woken up by a knocking sound from the floor above. My name is Freud, final year student, moved into this apartment because the rent was half the price of other areas. The place is a bit old, but I figured I just needed a quiet place to work on my thesis. The first night here was pretty quiet. At least that's what I thought. As I was about to fall asleep, I heard a light tapping sound from the floor. Thinking it was because of the old wooden floor, I ignored it and tried to close my eyes and continue sleeping. But at 3:33 a.m., the tapping sound came back. As regular as a heartbeat, a feeling of unease began to creep in, keeping me awake all night. Then strange dreams appeared. I saw a couple arguing fiercely. The boyfriend beat and tied the girl up. Then he dragged her down to the floor, burying his girlfriend while she was still breathing. I woke up with a pounding heart, my whole body drenched in sweat. The next morning, I asked my neighbors about the couple in my dream. The old lady next door said that they were Lena and Caleb, who used to live in the apartment on the 3rd floor, and that Lena had left with her boyfriend, Caleb, but I had a feeling that something was wrong. That night, I woke up with a start. This time, the knocking was right under my bed. I put my hand on the cold floor. Then I heard a groan, like someone was trapped underneath. I turned on the light, and in the corner of the floor was a faint red crack. very thin. I couldn't sleep again. I always felt like someone was waiting under the floor. I tried to pry open
Help
the
me.
crack, and below me I heard a faint "help me" in a faint
Help
voice.
me.
I went down to the third-floor apartment, where Caleb used to live. The door was old, and I could easily pry it open and rush in. I pulled out the old carpet in the living room, and there was a slight dent underneath. This was also the place where I saw Caleb bury Lena in my dream. I used a crowbar to pry it open, and a foul smell came up. Then I saw a human fingernail stuck to wood and dirt. I kept prying, pulled out a clump of hair. Then a hand came out. I screamed, I shivered, remembering the old lady's words that Caleb still kept the apartment downstairs. Lena moved out during the night. I called the police immediately. They came, dug her up, and confirmed it was Lena, still tied up, her body decomposed. Caleb was wanted. I thought the nightmare was over. I moved to another apartment after that, but no. That night, I still dreamed of her every night at exactly 3:33 a.m. The knocking still sounded, only now it was right next to my bed.
While camping and getting separated from my friends, I accidentally stumbled upon a lake of... I'm Joe, 20 years old, spending my summer break exploring the world and hanging out with friends. Going out a lot has really opened my eyes, so there's no way I'm missing this summer break. My friends and I planned a camping trip in the deepest, largest forest we've ever explored, and I was beyond excited. That night, I woke up needing to pee, so I stepped out to find a quiet spot. But when I came back, the tent and my friends were gone. I panicked, wondering if I'd taken the wrong path. I pulled out my phone to call my friends, but there was no signal out here. I realized I was lost. I wandered aimlessly, trying to call for help until I was completely exhausted. When I came to, a misty lake lay before me. A boat waited at the shore with familiar footprints leading to it. Thinking my friends had gone ahead to look for me, I jumped in without hesitation. Drifting through the fog-covered lake, the air grew cold. Suddenly, I saw a faceless, ghostly figure standing on the water. At first, I thought it was just the mist, but then more of them began to appear. They kept moving closer, sending a chill down my spine. Terrified, I decided to turn the boat around and head back to shore. I paddled toward the clear water, but ghostly hands rose from below, clutching the boat. I panicked, desperate to escape. But the fog hid the way, and more shadows appeared behind me. Suddenly, they rushed toward me. I screamed. Joe, we're here. Then I saw my friends in the distance, waving to me. Overjoyed, I swam straight to the far shore. Reaching the shore, I pushed through the fog, only to find a graveyard with thousands of tombstones and countless ghostly figures staring at me. Suddenly, my body felt lighter. When I looked down at my hands, they were fading and turning transparent.